Today's story is about revenge, not the loud kind, but the kind that waits, watches, and wins in silence.
She smiled at his funeral, but if you knew the truth, you'd be terrified of her. Emma Collins had the kind of life people envied, the kind you see on social media and quietly wish for. A beautiful 2-story home in a peaceful neighborhood of Chicago. White walls, large glass windows, a small garden where roses bloomed every spring. Inside that house, everything looked warm, perfect, alive. Her husband, Daniel Collins, was respected, a successful businessman, well-spoken, confident, the kind of man people trusted instantly. At parties, he would hold Emma's hand, smile proudly, and say, "I'm lucky to have her." And everyone believed him. They always did. Emma herself, she was kind, gentle, soft-spoken, the kind of woman who put everyone else before herself. And then there was Sophie, their 6-year-old daughter. Bright eyes, innocent smile. She called Emma her supermom. Every morning, Sophie would run into the kitchen, hug her tightly, and say, "Mom, you're the best." And Emma would smile, the same smile she showed the world. But that smile wasn't real anymore, because behind closed doors, everything changed. The warmth disappeared, the love faded, and Emma slowly started disappearing too. It didn't happen all at once. That's the thing about control. It grows quietly. At first, it was small things. Daniel choosing what she should wear. Red doesn't suit you, change it. Then it became who she could talk to. "I don't like your friend Sarah, stop meeting her." Then, where she could go. "You don't need to leave the house that often." And slowly, Emma's world became smaller and smaller, until it was just Daniel. He controlled everything. Her phone, her money, her decisions, even her thoughts. If she spoke too much, he'd interrupt. If she disagreed, he'd laugh. If she cried, he'd stare at her like she was nothing. One night, Emma finally tried to stand up for herself. Her voice shaking, her hands trembling, she said softly, "Daniel, this isn't right. I can't live like this." For a moment, there was silence. Then Daniel walked closer, very slowly, very calmly. He leaned in, just inches away from her face, and smiled. Not a loving smile, a cold one, a dangerous one. And then he whispered, "Who will believe you, Emma?" Those words didn't just hurt her, they broke something inside her. Because deep down, she knew the truth. No one would believe her. To the world, Daniel was perfect, and she was just quiet. After that night, Emma changed. She stopped arguing, stopped explaining, stopped hoping. She smiled when she had to, stayed silent when it hurt, and pretended everything was fine. But inside, she was fading, day by day, piece by piece. The woman she once was slowly disappearing. And the scariest part? No one noticed. Not the neighbors, not the friends, not even the people who saw her every day. Because Emma Collins had mastered one thing perfectly, hiding her pain behind a perfect life.
It was a cold winter night, the kind where silence feels heavier than usual. Outside, the wind whispered through the empty streets of Chicago, soft but haunting. Inside the house, everything looked normal. Too normal. Emma stood in the kitchen, washing the last dish of the night. The warm water ran over her hands, but she felt nothing. Her mind was somewhere else, as always. Upstairs, Sophie was asleep, holding her favorite stuffed toy. Peaceful, safe, unaware of the storm living inside her own home. Daniel had just walked out of the room, phone in his hand, his face serious. No smile, no charm, just cold. cold focus. Emma noticed, but she said nothing. She never did anymore. A few minutes passed, then something felt off. A strange silence, the kind that makes your heart uneasy without a reason. Emma slowly turned off the tap. The sound of water stopped, and suddenly she heard it. Daniel's voice, low, sharp, coming from the other room. She wasn't trying to listen, but something in his tone pulled her closer. Step by step, quietly, carefully, she moved toward the hallway, her heartbeat getting louder with every step. Then she heard it clearly. Every word, every breath. I'm done with her. A pause. Then, the insurance is ready. Her breath stopped. And then the words that shattered everything. It'll look like an accident. Silence. Complete silence. Emma couldn't move, couldn't breathe, couldn't think. It felt like the world had just stopped, like time itself refused to move forward. Her mind tried to reject it. No, I heard wrong. He didn't mean that. He wouldn't. But deep inside, she knew. This wasn't anger. This wasn't control. This wasn't manipulation anymore. This was a plan, a calculated, cold end. Emma slowly stepped back, her legs weak, her body numb. She returned to the kitchen, but nothing felt real anymore. The walls looked the same, the house looked the same, but everything had changed. Her reflection in the window caught her eye. For a moment, she didn't recognize herself. Is this really my life? Tears filled her eyes, but they didn't fall. Not this time. Because something strange was happening inside her. Something quiet. Something dangerous. The fear, yes, was still there, but it wasn't loud anymore. It wasn't shaking her. It wasn't breaking her. It was turning into something else. Stillness. That night, Emma didn't cry. She didn't scream. She didn't run. Because she understood something very clearly now. Running wouldn't save her. Begging wouldn't save her. Love wouldn't save her. So she did the only thing she could. She became silent. Not the weak silence that suffers, but the kind of silence that watches, waits, remembers. She walked upstairs slowly, opened Sophie's room, sat beside her bed, and gently brushed her hair. Sophie moved slightly, half asleep, and whispered softly, "Mom, you're here." Emma closed her eyes, took a deep breath, and held her daughter's hand tightly. In that moment, her fear turned into something stronger, not for herself, but for her child. And deep inside, something finally broke. Not her strength, not her hope, but her innocence. Because that was the moment Emma Collins stopped being a victim.
The next morning, sunlight quietly slipped through the curtains, soft, warm, peaceful, as if the world had no idea what had happened just a few hours ago. Emma opened her eyes, slowly, silently. For a moment, she just stared at the ceiling. No tears, no panic, no fear, just stillness. It was strange. The night before, her world had ended,
But this morning, she felt something different. Not relief, not happiness, control. She sat up gently, careful not to make a sound. Daniel was still asleep beside her, peaceful, calm, as if he hadn't just planned her death. Emma looked at him for a few seconds, not with love, not with anger, but with understanding. Now I know who you really are. And quietly, she got out of bed. In the kitchen, everything began like every other day. The sound of eggs cracking, toast popping, coffee brewing. Routine. Perfect. Normal. Sophie came running in, still half asleep, hair mussy, eyes full of innocence. "Mom, what's for breakfast?" she asked softly. Emma turned and smiled. The same smile, the one she had worn for years. "Your favorite," she said gently. And in that moment, you would never know that this woman had just heard her own death being planned. She packed Sophie's lunch, fixed her hair, kissed her forehead, held her a little longer than usual, because now everything mattered more, every second, every moment. At the door, Sophie waved happily. "Bye, Mom, I love you." Emma's voice almost broke, but she held it together. "I love you too." The door closed, and the house became silent again. Emma stood still, listening, making sure Daniel had left. A few minutes later, the sound of his car faded away, and just like that, everything changed. The smile disappeared, the softness vanished. Emma walked slowly to the table, sat down, and took a deep breath. Her hands were slightly shaking, but her mind was clear. This is not the end, it's the beginning. For the first time in years, Emma wasn't reacting anymore. She was planning. That same day, she made her first move. A quiet phone call, locked room, low voice. A lawyer. Her words were simple, but heavy. "I think my husband is planning to kill me." There was silence on the other side. Then, careful questions, serious tone. Emma answered everything, calmly, clearly, because now she wasn't afraid of the truth. She was ready to use it. Days passed, and Emma became someone else. She was still the same on the outside, still smiling, still quiet, still perfect. But inside, she was watching everything. Every word Daniel spoke, every move he made, every lie he told, and she recorded it all. Hidden phone, careful timing, silent courage. Sometimes her hands trembled when she pressed record. Sometimes her heart raced when he came too close. But she never stopped, because now she understood something powerful. Fear keeps you trapped, but truth sets you free. Piece by piece, she collected everything. His threats, his anger, his plans. Each recording, each proof was another step toward her survival. And slowly, the fear inside her faded. Not completely, but enough to make space for something stronger. Patience. Emma Collins was no longer the woman who cried in silence. She had become the woman who waited in silence. And that silence was no longer weakness. It was power. And Daniel had no idea that the woman he thought he controlled had already disappeared.
Weeks passed, quietly, carefully, like nothing had changed. Emma played her role perfectly. She smiled when Daniel looked at her, laughed when he expected her to, spoke softly, moved gently, existed exactly how he wanted. And Daniel, he believed it, completely, because to him, Emma was still the same woman, broken, silent, powerless. But what he didn't see was the shift, the stillness behind her eyes, the calm that wasn't fear anymore, but control. Then one evening, Daniel walked in with a smile, that same charming smile everyone trusted. Pack your bags, he said casually. I'm taking you somewhere special. Emma looked at him, for a second too long, then smiled. Really? She said softly. Yeah, we need this, he replied. And in that moment, Emma knew. This was it. The plan he had been waiting for. The perfect accident. But instead of fear, there was something else inside her now. Readiness. That night, while Daniel slept peacefully, Emma lay awake, eyes open, heart steady. She picked up her phone quietly, typed a message, confirmed everything. Her fingers paused for a second. Then she whispered to herself, "Tomorrow, it ends." Morning came, cold, gray, heavy. They drove for hours, leaving the city behind, the roads becoming emptier, the world becoming quieter. Finally, they reached it. A lake, still, silent, surrounded by nothing but trees and distance. No people, no cameras, no sound except the wind brushing against the water. Perfect. Emma stepped out of the car slowly, looked around, took a deep breath. Anyone else would have felt fear, but Emma, she felt clarity. Daniel walked beside her, calm, confident, like a man who had already won. They walked closer to the water, step by step, the ground slightly wet beneath their feet, the air colder near the lake. Daniel stopped, turned toward her, smiled. "Beautiful place, isn't it?" he said. Emma nodded. "Yes, it really is." There was a moment of silence, heavy, tense. Then Daniel stepped closer, too close. Emma felt it, that shift, that exact second when everything changes. His hand moved, quick, sudden. He pushed. But before anything could happen, flashing lights cut through the darkness. Red, blue, bright, blinding. "Police, don't move." Voices echoed through the silence, loud, commanding. Daniel froze, his face drained of color, eyes wide, confused. What is this?" he shouted. Officers rushed forward, surrounding him, blocking every escape. Emma stepped back, calm, untouched. For the first time, Daniel looked at her, not with control, not with confidence, but with fear. "Emma, what did you do?" he whispered. She looked at him, straight into his eyes. No anger, no hatred, just truth. "I listened." That's all she said. The officers grabbed him, handcuffs clicked, sharp, final. "This isn't over, you don't understand," Daniel shouted, struggling. But it was over, because for the first time, he had lost control, and Emma had taken it back. She stepped away from him slowly, the distance between them growing, not just physically, but forever. The cold air touched her face, the same lake, the same place, but everything felt different now, because she wasn't standing there as a victim anymore. She was standing there as someone who survived. And as the police car lights flashed in the background, as Daniel's voice faded away, as the silence returned to the lake, Emma closed her eyes for a moment, took a deep breath, and then, for the first time in years, she smiled. Not a fake smile, not a forced one, a real one. Because in that moment, she wasn't afraid anymore. She was free.
The trial began in a courthouse that smelled faintly of polished wood and old papers, a room filled with people who had no idea what Emma had endured. Reporters, lawyers, judges, spectators, all eyes on her. Daniel Collins sat across the courtroom, confident, smug, arrogant. The man who had tried to erase her, the man who had planned her death. He denied everything. Every recording, every document, every word. He claimed it was false. He smiled, pretending innocence. He spoke with charm and manipulation, weaving lies like a master. But Emma, she didn't flinch. Every time Daniel lied, she felt a small surge inside her. Her recordings, her documents, every secret she had risked her life to capture, they were louder than his words. The courtroom was silent as the evidence played, her voice trembling sometimes, but filled with truth, each word etched into the minds of everyone present. She didn't cry, she didn't beg. She just stood there, calm, unwavering, because she had already survived worse than any courtroom. Days turned into weeks, testimonies were given, witnesses called. Every lie Daniel told was met with undeniable proof, and slowly the power shifted. The arrogance faded from Daniel's face. Confidence gave way to frustration. Frustration turned to fear. Emma, however, felt nothing but clarity. She remembered all the nights she cried in silence, all the moments she had feared for her life, all the times she had hidden her pain behind smiles, behind perfection. And now, all of that suffering was turning into justice. When the verdict came, the room seemed to hold its breath. Guilty, life imprisonment without parole. The words hit Daniel like a thunderclap. People called Emma brave. They saw her standing tall, unbroken, victorious. But no one knew the cost of that strength. The nights she had spent trembling in the dark, the mornings she had forced herself to smile, the endless anxiety, the constant fear, the weight of knowing her life had been in someone else's hands. Every tear she had swallowed, every scream she had stifled, had been part of her preparation. And in that courtroom, in that moment, it wasn't just victory, it was survival. It was proof that a person can endure hell and still walk out alive. Emma took a deep breath. The weight of the past months finally settled on her shoulders. Heavy, exhausting, but real. And for the first time, she allowed herself to feel a little peace. She had been invisible for so long, controlled, silenced, trapped. But now, she was seen, she was heard, and she had survived. 1 year had passed. The seasons had changed. The snow had melted. The city streets of Chicago had moved on. But for Emma, some things never left. The news came quietly at first. Daniel Collins had died in prison. No fanfare, no headlines, just a small note in a local paper. A man who once seemed untouchable, now gone. The funeral was held on a gray, chilly afternoon. The sky mirrored the mood. Low clouds, cold wind, the kind of weather that makes you feel small. People filed in, dressed in black. Friends, colleagues, neighbors, all came to mourn the successful man, the loving husband, the man they had admired. Emma walked in slowly, her dress simple, her hair tied back neatly. No dramatic gestures, no one noticed her at first. She held Sophie's small hand tightly. The warmth of her daughter's grip reminded her why she had survived. Around her, tears fell freely, faces twisted in grief and disbelief. And Daniel's life, his carefully crafted image, was remembered with soft eulogies, quiet sobs, and polite condolences. Emma listened. Not a word escaped her lips. Not a tear ran down her face. Inside, everything had shifted. She remembered the nights of fear, the nights she lay awake, heart pounding, listening for footsteps, for danger, for death. She remembered the pain, the anxiety, the helplessness. And now, here she was, safe, alive, whole. The coffin was lowered. The somber tones of the ceremony filled the air. The earth swallowed the man who had tried to destroy her. Emma's chest rose and fell slowly. Her heart no longer raced. Her hands no longer trembled. Her eyes, once full of fear, now calm. And then she smiled. Not a grin, not a cruel smile, not one of satisfaction, but a quiet, peaceful smile. It wasn't joy, it wasn't revenge, it was freedom. Freedom from fear, freedom from lies, freedom from a life that tried to erase her. Sophie looked up at her. "Mom, are you okay?" Emma leaned down, brushing a strand of hair from her daughter's face. "Yes, baby, we're okay," she whispered softly. That moment was worth all the pain, all the sleepless nights, all the tears she had swallowed. Emma finally understood something she had forgotten long ago. Peace isn't found in fighting. Peace is found in surviving. And as the earth covered the coffin and the crowd slowly dispersed, Emma held Sophie's hand and took a deep breath. The weight of fear, of danger, of control had lifted. She didn't cry, she didn't scream, she didn't shout. She just smiled. A smile that said, "I am alive. I am free, and no one can take that from me ever again."
Emma's story proves that sometimes the greatest revenge is surviving and the reclaiming your life. If this story moved you, like, share and comment to let others know about her incredible journey. And don't forget to subscribe. We bring you the most emotional, heart-touching true stories every day.